Good morning, this is Cielo Franklin, and today I am here with Mr. Patrick Gorman, the Labour Party candidate for the upcoming Perth by-elections. Patrick, good morning.
Good morning.
So, first of all, can you please briefly introduce yourself?
Well, thank you for having me on the program, and good morning to all your listeners. My name's Patrick Gorman. I'm the Labour candidate for the Perth by-election. I'm born and raised in Western Australia. I'm the son of two school teachers, and I've spent most of my life as a campaigner for various social causes. I'm standing in this election, in the Perth by-election, one of 5 by-elections happening across the country, because I want to deliver a fair go for Western Australia and a fair go for Australia as part of Bill Shorten's Labor team.
So, speaking of this coming by-elections, what are your thoughts in the lack of Liberal candidate?
Look, many people have been disappointed that there's not a Liberal candidate in this race. There's a few Liberal Party members who are running under their own banners, but people really expect that, as major parties, that we do our job, Political parties have an important role to play in society, an important role to play in the leadership of our country. When you don't even rock up to the starting line, you're not doing your part for democracy, and you're not really fulfilling the expectations of your voters across the electorate. So people in Perth are very disappointed in the Liberal Party. They feel quite let down, and I would have preferred to have a more normal contest where we could debate Malcolm Turnbull's bad ideas for this country and Bill Shorten's positive policies. That's the debate I wanted, but the Liberal Party haven't let that happen.
Now, I believe that one of the things you would like to focus on is the skill shortage in education. Can you tell us how?
Well, as I said before, I'm the son of 2 teachers, and I'm also the beneficiary of a fantastic public education and into 2 great Western Australian universities. So for me, education is just so important. It's been part of what's made my career successful. It's something that my parents are very passionate about. So I'm so proud to be standing as a Labor candidate. We've got some really clear plans to make sure that we uncap university places. That means that every young person who's smart enough and has got good enough grades can get into a university course, and to invest in 100,000 TAFE places where we'll abolish the upfront fees. Now that's going to mean that, like here in Western Australia, we've had skills shortages in the past. Those skills shortages have really hurt our economy. They've made it harder for businesses to go and do that piece of enterprise that they do so well. And so I'm saying, let's invest more in TAFE. Let's invest more in our universities to make sure that we've got the skills we need and that people can get the jobs they want. We've got quite high unemployment here in Western Australia. The best thing we can do as a federal government to address that is to invest in training, so when the jobs are there, the trained people are there to do them.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic, Patrick. And what about the early childhood education?
Yeah, well, look, I've got a 9-month-old son, a little boy called Leo, and so he's currently in early childhood education, and I see him flourish as a result of that education. I'm sure your listeners, if they've got little kids who are going into early childhood education and care, would know that it makes such a difference to the development of those kids. And I've also worked as a representative working with people who are early childhood educators, trying to make sure they get a fair day's pay for the really important work that they do. And of course, what we've seen in the last month or so is some really big changes to early childhood education in terms of the support structures. Here in Perth, what those changes have meant is about 1 in 3 families are worse off in terms of their access to various support payments from the federal government. And so in the Labor Party, we've been listening to parents' concerns, listening to the concerns of educators, listening to the concerns of people running those early childhood centres to make sure that we know what's working and what's not and how we can best support families, because it's not just about getting parents back to work. Early childhood education is, as the name suggests, about education for young people, because you learn so much in those first 3 years of life that if we can do everything we can as a society to invest in our young people, help them build up their language skills, their reasoning skills, their play skills, they'll just thrive when they get into the formal schooling system. So I'm very passionate about making sure that we invest in those things that make a difference.
Yeah, you are so right about that. Now, most of our listeners are Filipinos and are interested on the issue of migration. What can you say about this?
Well, look, migration is such an important part of our national story. Here in the Perth electorate, we have huge post-war migration. The suburbs of North Perth, Northbridge, Leederville. You only need to walk around the suburbs of Perth and inner Perth to know that without a strong migration program, we wouldn't be the society we are today. Obviously, our broader migration program is something that's set each year through the budget. So, we are a big country and we have a large migration program that's in our national interests. And the reason you know it's in our national interest is because we set it in the budget and we do it as an economic decision. But at the same time, there's been some 7.5 million migrants into this country since World War II. I think it's a great thing about Australia that we have such a diverse country. I've spent time previously working as an advisor to former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd. So when he was Prime Minister, we spent a lot of time travelling around the country, seeing just what a great diverse country we have. And when I worked with him when he was Foreign Minister, I also saw just how well regarded Australia is on the international stage because we have such a diverse community here at home. So migration has been part of our history, and of course it'll be an important part of our future.
Yes, and we're very happy to be here in Australia. Now, lastly, what's your take on foreign aid?
I'm really passionate about foreign aid because I think foreign aid is how we express our values as a country overseas. I think what's happened with the foreign aid budget being slashed to shreds by Malcolm Turnbull and the Liberals has really concerned me. Seeing more than $11 billion cut from Australia's aid program is a bit of an embarrassment. And unfortunately, because it's our international program, it's an international embarrassment. So I'd like to see us start to rebuild that program. I'd like to see us invest more in our region. I'd like to see us invest more in the countries that are good friends of Australia, but where they need a helping hand in building up their education, building up the rights of women and girls to fully participate in society, and making sure that people have the basic food, clean water, sanitation. I think most reasonable Australians know that our foreign aid program is something that we should be proud of, not something that we should be ashamed of and always trying to cut. So I'll be a strong voice for making sure we do our part on the international stage.
Well, thank you very much, Patrick, for your time, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.